So this is a wireless XLR adapter that can convert any XLR signal into a wireless XLR signal. You could use this to turn a wired microphone into a wireless microphone, or you could use it to wirelessly send the signal from your mixer to your PA system. It has an option to turn on 48 volts of phantom power. You can set it from line or mic level depending on what you're trying to use it for. It's also very easy to change channels with this system, and it operates in a very unique frequency. So this is the AirSync by a company called Coda Music Tech. A few months back, I did a video called "What is the best cheap wireless XLR adapter?" and I was not familiar with this system when I made that video. I do wish that I knew about this system because this is actually one of my favorite ones that I found, and especially for the price point, I think this is actually one of the best bang for the buck deals. I've used it at multiple gigs over the last month, and it's worked flawlessly the entire time. Many thanks to Coda Music Tech for sending this over for me to check out for the channel and for sponsoring the video. However, just like always, all the opinions in this video are my own, and if you do decide that this system is right for you, you can find purchase links down below in the description. Also, at the end of the video, I will let you know how you can win one of these for yourself because Coda Music was kind enough to do a giveaway to one of my subscribers. That's enough of the intro. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and let's go ahead and check this thing out. So here's the system right here. This is the transmitter, and this one is the receiver, and you hold the power button in order to turn them on. You get a decent number of things on the screen. You can see what frequency it's transmitting on. You can see the battery life of both systems, and you can see how strong the signal strength is, which I'll come back to in a minute. On the transmitter, you have an option to set it from mic or line level, and you also have the option to turn on the 48 volts of phantom power if you need it. And you can see the 48 volts menu shows up right here. Of course, that is going to take up more battery life. Just keep that in mind. So this is what's cool. If I turn off the transmitter, you'll see that the bars on the receiver are no longer full, and it's also blinking, letting me know, hey, I have lost signal. But if I turn it back on, it's going to find it. Now, this is really cool. In order to change channels, just tap the power button twice, and you'll see it'll automatically change the receiver. These are paired together. I'll double tap it again, and you can see whatever I set the transmitter to, it changes the receiver to that channel as well, which is very cool. So if for some reason you are getting interference on the transmitter, you can just double tap really quick, and it'll change the receiver as well. You don't have to go over to the receiver to change it. That's really cool. To charge, these both charge over USB-C. The cable is provided, and you can see while it's charging, it'll give you a battery meter while it's charging. There's two common ways that you'll want to use this system. The first is with the wireless mic. So plug in the transmitter into the wireless mic. This Beta 87 does need phantom power, so I would turn on the phantom power on this one, and then plug the receiver into whatever mixer or wherever you're trying to send the signal to. The other option for this is to use it as a wireless for your PA system. So I'm going to take the transmitter, I'm going to plug that into the main output of my mixer right here, and then the receiver is going to plug into whatever speaker I'm trying to send this to. Pretty nice. And the thing that's also cool about this, so this is pretty wide. However, the thing is I can still plug in XLR cables to the ones right next to it as well. That's true for both the transmitter and the receiver. There's still enough room for me to plug in an XLR next to it. Some of these can be so wide that I have to get a little extender in order to use it. These can plug directly in, which is a very nice design choice. One of the other really nice things I like about this system is it also includes two adapters to convert it to 1/4 inch. So if you do need to use this with something that accepts only a 1/4 inch output or input, you do have that as an option here. Really nice if your PA system only has a 1/4 inch output, for example. As far as specs, this has a 150-foot range. The battery life is up to 8 hours. There are 13 different channels to choose from. It operates between 657 and 663 megahertz, which I'm going to address here in a minute. The frequency range is 40 hertz up to 20 kilohertz, which is awesome. And the latency is less than 3 milliseconds. So at the time of shooting, the price is listed at $79.95, and that's actually one of the cheapest ones that I could find. Most of these are around $100 to around $150-ish, but especially the fact this one has a very long battery life, and it has phantom power, and it has a way to switch from mic to line, and it's one of the least expensive ones that I found. This is a really good deal for this system. There will be purchase links to purchase this down below if you do decide this is something that you could use. If you do use those links down below in the description, it is a free way to support the channel at no extra cost to you, so I would appreciate it. And don't forget, if you are finding this video helpful, the like button is always a free way to support the channel as well. So as far as tone, here's how it sounds. Just plug it into a standard SM58 microphone. Mic check 1, 2, hey, hey. Testing the mic, 1, 2, check, check. It sounds great to me. It should be no surprise. I used this at a bunch of different gigs and it sounded awesome. If you are new to my channel and you're wanting, a comparison between like a cable or something like that, that is not what I do on this channel. I actually think it is a waste of time to do A/B comparisons. My tone philosophy has always been, does it sound good? If so, I'm going to use it. I think our ears play too many tricks on us when we try to really sit down and do A/B comparisons, and we should just be saying, does it sound good and usable? This system does. I've used it at multiple gigs, therefore I'm going to continue to use it. So something interesting about the frequency bandwidth that this is in, so that's just fancy words for the frequency that the wireless communicates from the transmitter to the receiver. This operates between 657 and 663 megahertz. The legal frequencies that you're allowed to use in your country varies from country to country. In the United States, where I'm at, the legal UHF frequency range is from 470 up to 608 megahertz, and also 902 to 928 megahertz. A couple years back, the FCC decided that musicians are no longer allowed to use anything above 608 megahertz. So everything in the 600s and in the 700s, actually a few years before that, got taken, and musicians are no longer allowed to use that, so the bandwidth is getting tighter and tighter. So does that mean the system is not allowed to be used in the United States? Actually, a little known fact is that the FCC did leave a little 10 megahertz bandwidth that wireless microphones and wireless systems can still be used live. This system falls within that frequency bandwidth, so you are allowed to use this live. What's cool about that is there are very, very few systems that operate in this frequency range, which means that there's very little competition. You don't have to fight to find other clear channels if not very many people are using that frequency bandwidth. I've only seen one other wireless system operate in this frequency range, and that's a wireless microphone that I reviewed by EV. So like I said, I've been using this at a couple of my gigs recently. I've had zero problems with it. It's worked flawlessly every time. Even at one of the shows, I put it pretty far away from the transmitter to the receiver. The best way to use wireless is always direct line of sight. That's always best. However, I'm doing a YouTube demo, so I'm going to push this thing to its limit to see how far it can go. I put it in the back of my wireless in-ear monitor rack. I was on the complete opposite side of the stage. The drummer was blocking line of sight as well from the transmitter to the receiver. And I put it pretty close to that EV mic, which again operates in the same frequency range. It still never dropped out all night. I also use it as another gig where we have guest singers come up sometimes and sing. So this was the wireless mic that I had set up. No problems with it there. I used it as a talkback mic for our New Year's Eve gig. It worked fantastically well. If you are interested in how to set up a talkback mic and some of the advanced ways that I do it, I do have a video going over that on my channel, which you can check out. But I also used it live as a wireless for our PA system this weekend, and it worked awesome as well. It was really nice not to have to run those long XLR cables. It was great. So are there any cons about it? Not really. I honestly don't really see any cons with this system. 8 hours of battery life. It has an option for phantom power, which remember, that if it has phantom power turned on, it's going to depend on the system, but I'll probably cut it about in half. It has an option for a mic and a line switch, and at $80, that's a really good deal for this. I think it's a really good system. I review higher end stuff and cheaper stuff for musicians on this channel. I try to review both. I do have to remind you that sometimes cheap wireless doesn't work with every single system that you use. It happens with this cheaper budget stuff. I did try using this on this microphone right here, the SM7DB, and it did add quite a bit of noise to it. This is a very specific type of microphone though. However, any other handheld that I use, I tried on multiple Shure systems. I have a cheap Behringer mic that I use as well as a backup. It worked fine on all of those without any problems. My advice always when you try using budget and cheap gear is just try it out with your system immediately when you get it. If it doesn't work, then return it. It will work more times than it doesn't. And like I said, this worked with all the mics I tried except for this mic right here. I think the only thing is that it does look a little bit goofy if you're a lead singer singing into this or something like that. That's up to you. It might not bother you at all. Some people might just be turned off on that. But overall, for the price, you really can't beat it. And I'm going to continue to use this system for sure. So many thanks to Coda Music Tech for sending this out for review for the channel. And like I mentioned, they are doing a giveaway so that one of you can win this for yourself. This one is a little bit different. They do have a site set up where if you do certain tasks like subscribe to them and stuff like that, you get entered in order to win this system. I will have links so that you can enter that contest for yourself. So check out that link in the description so you can find details on how you can win one of these. If you do use wireless music gear live, I highly recommend that you watch my 5 common mistakes when using wireless music gear video. I see these mistakes happening all the time, so it's definitely useful to watch that video. And also, if you're looking for an affordable and cheap wireless for guitar, bass, or instruments, you can also check out my video of what is the best cheap wireless part 3. I think part 3 actually goes over some of the most useful info in that video. You can check out both of those videos by clicking the links on your screen now. Thank you guys again for watching. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit the like button. It truly does help support the channel. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more music gear tutorials and reviews like this in the future. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time.